All right, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it was earlier this week that Trump quite literally issued a threat to the supreme leader of Iran that he exactly knows where he was hiding. A threat not taken lightly by anyone, especially given the rapid escalation of events since June 13 in Israel's Operation Rising Lion that has struck sites across Iran, both nuclear and military targets, with impunity. However, the number one question remains on everyone's mind: what is the US's true intention vis-a-vis Iran? It's natural to ask when Trump says he wants something much more than a ceasefire, but won't say what it is exactly. Is it just about a nuclear deal, or is there another regime change operation in the motion? And if yes, then who after Khamenei, as I asked earlier? Our next report helps you decode just that. Take a look.
West Asia is at war.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do.
With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
But is this war just about a deal?
Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago?
President Trump will do what's best for America. I trust his judgment.
Is this all just a cover?
There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close.
It's what the Ayatollah Khamenei says that he would do. He would use these weapons to wipe Israel off the map. Well, he's not going to. We're not going to let him.
Or is this more than meets the eye?
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision.
Does it boil down to a regime change operation?
assassination of head of state. And please remember, Ayatollah Khamenei is more than a head of state. He's a religious leader. It's like, talking about taking down any other major religious figure. So it's not something which one should talk lightly.
To even suggest that is putting words in the president's mouth. He has been very clear, actually, since 2011, that Iran must never have a nuclear weapon. And right now, the Israeli military is doing a great job taking out Iran's, not only their nuclear capability, but also their ballistic missile capability, which is a win for Iran, a win for the Middle East, and a win for the world.
Well, it seemed very unlikely, but it can happen. Americans have not stated it as their objective for the time being, although Israel has put it down as a war objective. Now it seems to me that it is of very little consequence, because if one Ayatollah goes, somebody else might come.
If Khamenei dies, it's very unclear what will happen. It's unclear if the Islamic Republic will stay in power, which is likely. It's unclear who will be appointed. There is no defined Iranian opposition, so nobody knows if they are capable of placing somebody as interim caretaker prime minister. It's not clear what direction the Iranian body politic wants to go, because they don't like it when outsiders intervene in their affairs. Nothing is clear if Ayatollah Khamenei dies.
I don't think there would be a disorderly transition. I'm sure the Iranians have prepared for contingency. They have a well-established system, and there is a system for electing a successor to a supreme leader. So I think that will be set in motion. It cannot be assumed that this will automatically lead to a regime change or collapse.
And Ambassador Srivastava may be onto something. Ayatollah Khamenei has even named 3 senior clerics as candidates to succeed him should he be killed. However, it is being reported that Ayatollah Khamenei's son is not the part of the list. Next in line could be Ali Reza Arafi, Deputy Chair of the Assembly of Experts in the Guardian Council, a long-term trusted aide of the Supreme Leader. Or could be Khamenei's Chief of Staff Mohammad Galpayani, who manages every aspect of Khamenei's office, or even his political security head, who oversees all intelligence in Iran and serves as a key advisor. One thing is clear. The American view increasingly believes that Ayatollahs must go.
Ever since the Ayatollahs took over in Iran in the 1980s, they have been a virus that has infected not only the Middle East, but the world. Their radical brand of Islam is counterthetical to the teachings of Islam. They are the world's largest supporters of terror. If the mullahs in Iran were not in power, the world would be a better place.
But can there be an alternative leadership in Iran if the Ayatollah is gone?
Well, it can be, because you see, Ayatollahs were transposed on that country after the overthrow of Shah. If the clerics and their hold over the country wanes in the event of a very decisive defeat in the ongoing conflict, and if they have to surrender in terms of surrender their nuclear weapon program, there would be loss of prestige for the clerics, and in that situation some other force, some other groups might emerge. It is quite possible. I would not be surprised at all.
There is a chance that should the Islamic Republic fall, the Iranians will elect political leadership that is more pro-Western, or that wants to bring more democracy or more civil rights. I don't know if that will happen immediately. And again, I don't think the regime will fall. But even if it does, I'm not sure that will happen immediately because, again, Iran was attacked. A lot of Iranians are now scared and angry because Iran was attacked regardless of who is in charge politically.
Amidst all the internal chaos, there is one man sitting in the United States who is quite eager to make a re-entry into Iran. His name, Reza Shah Pahlavi, Crown Prince in exile of Iran.
من سالها کوشیدم تا میهنمان گرفتار آتش جنگ نشود. پایان جمهوری اسلامی، پایان جنگ 46 ساله آن با ملت ایران است. دستگاه سرکوب رژیم در حال فروپاشی است. تنها یک خیزش همگانی لازم است تا این کابوس برای همیشه پایان یابد. اکنون زمان ایستادن است. زمان بازپسگیری ایران.
I don't think that the people in Iran, by and large, have any appetite for return to monarchy or the system of monarchy or descendants of the monarch.
Why should the people of Iran believe that you have their best interests in mind? Because you lived in the United States for a large part of your life. You moved there well in your 20s. You've lived outside Iran and you're very vocal about the situation in Iran. Some people would see you as a Western prop. How would you respond to that? That you're taking a certain political line which would go well with the West but not be in the interests of the Iranian people. This charge is something I want you to respond to as directly as possible.
That's very easy to prove. All you have to do is to monitor Iranian social media. All you have to do is to look at various polls that have been done about what level of support or popularity I have in Iran. These are not polls conducted by me. It's in fact conducted by elements who are not necessarily my sympathizers. And you will see right there and then the amount of respect and trust that they have in what I've been doing and the legacy of my family. The fact that I was physically away from my country doesn't mean for a second that I'm not aware of everything that is happening in my country every single day, in all of the smallest details.
There is absolutely no chance of Reza Pahlavi making a return to Iran and being accepted by Iranian people. There are always dissensions in any government or society. But that does not mean that they would accept someone who has lived in exile for such a long period. In fact, most of his adult life.
Then again, the question continues to remain. What will the Americans do?
First of all, Donald Trump and the Americans are not going to take down the Ayatollah. What Israel has said and what Israel has pushed into Iran, and I believe what would be the best result is if the Iranian people themselves rose up against the Islamic dictator in Iran, and they revolted, and then the Iranian people themselves would establish a democracy. That being said, there will not be American boots on the ground. America is, we would love to have friendly relations with a democratic Iran. I think the Iranian people deserve as much, and the world certainly can do a heck of a lot better than we've seen from the theocratic leadership in Iran since the 1980s.
Iran is a status quo state, and you look at their record. Iran, and under this regime only, when I say this regime, means the same supreme leader and the system of governance. They want to do more business with the West, and including US. This has been their attempt since the negotiations started. I was there from 2011 to 2014. The bar came from the US side, and Europeans were doing good business, much bigger, trade than we have with Iran. Iranian regime or Iranian government cannot be, by any stretch of imagination, be called a radical regime. But certainly if it goes, or if there's a change, again, I treat it as a hypothetical question. The next regime will be more hardliner towards Israel and towards the West in case it is brought about through American intervention.
The Iranian ballistic missile directly hit the Soroka hospital in Be'er Sheva.